This Arctic Fox truck camper here from Northwood RV has a full wall slide on it here, which is insane. Let's go take a look. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Myles with Firmly Unbound, and we are here at Blue Compass RV today in Surprise, Arizona, taking a look at this Northwood RV Arctic Fox truck camper. And this here, the model on it, it is the 811 model. And I am pretty dang excited to be taking a look at this thing with y'all. This is a product line where I am not super well versed in because, one, I've never sold at a dealership before that sells these products, so I've never actually sold them myself. And two, this world of truck campers is pretty advanced. There's a lot of information that I have questions about, and I'm going to bring someone into this video. His name is John, and John was giving me a walkthrough of this product here that was so dang good. Before he even finished, I was like, man, would you just get behind the camera here and give these people a walkthrough of this product so we can really get some good information? And he agreed, so I'm going to go get John and we are going to let him walk through this camper here with you. And I'm really excited for the information that he's about to share because I'm about to learn with you guys, which I am so excited about. All right, so we got John here. Now, John, let everybody know, I don't know if they can hear me because I'm not mic'd up, but John, let everybody know how long you've been selling RVs and then what kind of makes the truck camper world fascinating to you.
Perfect. So I've been selling RVs for about 6 years now with Blue Compass. Been an excellent experience working with this company. The reason I like truck campers is they're a niche product and not a lot of people really know about them. I have a lot of experience in aircraft maintenance and that sort of thing, so I have a lot of experience in weight and balance, which is a key factor in truck campers. A lot of mistakes can be made. I try to help and guide my customers so that not only do they have good knowledge of the product, they know exactly what their limitations are with their vehicle and exactly where they can go and what they can do with the truck camper. Setup is crucial, so I'll definitely cover that. But let's get started on the 811.
Real quick too, John, if someone wants to purchase a truck camper from you, how can they contact you?
You can contact me here at the Surprise store. We're in Surprise, Arizona. My phone number here is 623-263-0108. I'd be happy to give you some world-class service and guide you through the process.
Yeah, I'm telling you, John, like, he knows what he's talking about. You're about to find out. So let's go walk through this product with them.
So I'm going to start with the chassis itself, if you want to call it that, the foundation of the unit. Arctic Fox, in almost every application that they use, is going to be using structural grade A American steel, okay? So they actually use angle iron in their corner joints. They actually use a base plate underneath here, which takes on that immense amount of weight that they can handle. The other thing I like about Arctic Fox is the actual roof capacity. Nobody in the industry has a roof capacity like Arctic Fox. You can literally put 36 people on the top of this roof. That's insane. Nothing's built that way. The reason they can do that is how they actually build this. It's called the aluminum superstructure. What they actually do is you got your 2 layers of Asdale on the outside like any good RV does. On the inside of that, 16 on center, you've got actual aluminum studs, not pressed formed aluminum. These are actual hollowed out studs. Then they stick a 2x4 in that stud, so for a couple of reasons. One, you're going to get some more structural integrity out of it. Then you're going to have an actual place for that screw to bite into. Then you don't get loose screws, you only have a couple of teeth. It works out really well structurally. Another thing I like to point out about the Arctic Fox is their bolt pattern on their actual jack system. This is stout. May not look like much on camera, but if I show you a few other units, you're going to be amazed. Almost double the capacity, or excuse me, double the amount of hardware on this jack on both sides.
Do you want to go show them another product to just compare
let's
it?
do it. Sure.
Because this is an expensive truck camper.
It is.
So we got to justify the price a little bit.
Most definitely. And I don't want to put down Palomino. This has its market. Palomino is a great truck camper for the purpose it's used for. Weekend warrior camper. People are going to have an awesome time with this camper, but it's not going to be a Fox. So if you look at the bolt pattern, you got a decent bolt pattern, but the hardware itself is only half the gauge of the bolts on that one. So as you can see, there's going to be a big difference in structural integrity. Moving back to the Fox, couple of things I want to point out before we actually get in it They're using all diamond plate. The floors are 20 mil on the linoleum, which is double the industry standard to my knowledge. Underneath there, you actually have, what is it called? Half-lap joints on a marine grade 5/8 inch plywood. Industry standard is pretty much not going to be waterproof, and it's only going to be about a 1/2 inch. And it's not going to be half-lap joints. Those half-lap joints are going to make a huge difference when it comes to sealing that up. If you ever had a leak in there, a lot of water buildup, it's going to be a lot harder to soak through and cause damage to the unit. That being said, the balance part of a Fox. You would think something this large would be very top-heavy. No. The engineers down at Northwood are absolutely amazing. Doug Carr knows what he's doing. That being said, all of your tanks are full length in the floor. Okay, your center is always going to be the freshwater because a lot of people like to tow with freshwater, or in this case, haul with freshwater. On the other side, wherever the bathroom is going to be your black tank. And on the other side, wherever dinette or whatever's on that side, depending on the model, is going to be your gray tank. When you have your fresh tank full, you are at perfect balance. Okay, another thing that people don't realize about truck campers, you gotta have a center of gravity. And that's why truck campers are so truck specific. If you have the wrong truck, you are gonna hate the way it rides, the rock, the sway. It's terrible. It is literally a pucker factor, if you know what I mean. Not to be crude, but
right, it is.
That being said, the slides on an Arctic Fox are built like nobody else. They are 4 seasons all the way around. To my knowledge, the last I heard, you could take this thing to negative 18 degrees and still have fresh running water.
Wow. Now, explain to me too, because the slide-out box in a truck camper in and of itself is something pretty unique.
Yes,
correct?
It is. So Arctic Fox is actually the first truck camper manufacturer to do a full wall slide. And they're also the only one that didn't fail at it. I won't mention names, but other manufacturers tried it and they just could not master it. Arctic Fox mastered it. It's been their calling card ever since.
Awesome.
That being said, I want to talk about the seals because that really makes a difference with Arctic Fox. The seals right here are made from pure neoprene. Neoprene is an amazing product because it remains flexible no matter the temperature. Unlike bulb rubber, which is used in most other products, RVs all alike, but truck campers especially use the bulb rubber. And it just gets hard as a rock when it's too cold. And in the winter, or in the summer, especially here in Arizona, it's 90 degrees right now. I think we're expecting about 104 today.
Yeah.
All the bulb rubber in here is just going to be like flaps. On top of that, you have 6 seals. Industry standard, or at least in my experience, is 3 to 4 seals. So you got 2 extra seals. I want to point another thing out, the wiper. I consider the wiper here a seal as well. Because as you can see, that sucker is tough. I go to any other seal. I actually don't have another slide camper on the lot to show you the difference, but any other seal, I can literally pull that away and flap it around like it's nothing.
Yep.
So, moving on from there, I want to point out the barrel roof in here. It is going to make that entry area to the bed area much larger without giving you all the rock of a standard truck camper. That being said, once again, that roof, 36 people on top. That just blows me away. As an aircraft manufacturer, or excuse me, an aircraft maintenance tech, I don't know how they pull that off.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That superstructure is all welded together. It's a one-piece cage. Makes all the difference in the world.
Let's actually, before we go inside, one more thing real quick. Let's talk about, with this 811, what kind of truck is this designed for?
You know what, Miles, that's a great question. So, as I said before, truck campers are very truck specific. Arctic Fox has literally designed every model with one truck in mind for that model. With the 811, they had in mind a 1-ton single-wheel short bed truck. This is one of the most popular selling truck campers in the world. On a short bed, I actually, don't quote me on this, but I actually think it is the #1 selling one. That being said, the #1 selling truck camper in long bed with slide is going to be the 990, the big brother to the 811. Not much difference in floor plan. It's just a little bit longer, a little bit wider dinette area. That being said, let's head inside.
Yeah, let me head inside first, actually, and then
it.
you can follow behind me. Give people a look through here. Little step up.
All right, on the inside here, I want to point out my favorite part. My hobby is woodworking, so I really appreciate good woodwork. All of the cabinetry in an Arctic Fox is going to be knotty alder, solid hardwood. Notice the raised panels in the cabinetry. The plywood itself is actually knotty alder plywood. Nobody does that. It's always stained Baltic birch or something like that. So they spared no expense on the cabinetry, which I really respect.
Sure.
On the other side of that, the fridge. This is a massive fridge for this size camper. Normally, in history's past, before the 12-volt fridges came out, these things were 3, maybe 5 cubic feet at most. Extremely efficient, get cold in an hour, all runs off the battery. Every single Fox in production is going to come with a 400-watt solar package and a 50-amp charge controller. You're all set up if you wanted to expand it, or if you wanted to place an order with more solar on board from the manufacturer, we can do that too.
Nice.
Going from there, I like to point out more cabinetry. Just want to show you that because I think it's unique. Not too many manufacturers do things like this, so very solid, good drawer slides, reacts very, very well.
Nice.
And I love the fact that they actually put a latch on it so it doesn't come out.
Yeah. Cool.
Moving into the bedroom area, they actually give you a real mattress. This is a hybrid innerspring and foam mattress. One of the most comfortable ones I've been on an RV yet. That tells me some good old boys are building this and they actually use them.
Yeah.
Going from there, notice carpet. I always want to mention the carpet in an Arctic Fox. It is there for a purpose. These things are good to Arctic temperatures. Believe it or not, the carpet on the floor, in the slide, and the carpet on the ceiling is an insulator. This thing has an R40 factor of insulation. That's amazing. No other RV that I can think of can actually say that. Maybe in the roof, maybe in the floor, but overall, there's not an RV out there, to my knowledge, that actually has R40 insulation.
Quick little ignorant question for me here. What's the purpose of the little window down here?
Okay, so we're going to go back to my childhood. My grandfather had a truck camper, and the tradition was they had sliders here. So as a kid, I would crawl through, go up top, there was a window there, and I would just lay right there and look down and watch the road go by.
Right.
That is now illegal. What this is for is when you look in your rear view mirror, there's another window on the back side of this camper.
Oh, makes sense.
It's just going to give you a little bit of view directly behind you. Highly recommend a rear view camera for good visual content. Do not use that to switch lanes. Let me repeat that. Do not use that to switch lanes.
Yeah, that's about the tiniest little viewing. I mean, It's something. You can see something for sure, but
Totally.
not a whole heck of a lot. Cool.
Yep.
That was a question I had that I've been really curious about, so I appreciate that.
Well, I want to cover one thing that really comes up a lot with truck campers, and that's wet bath versus dry bath. This is my personal opinion, so I want to preface that, but I prefer a wet bath. And the reason I prefer a wet bath is room. Most dry baths, unless we're talking hosed or eagle cap, which are very, very heavy, don't really recommend those for 1-ton dualies. I'd prefer a 450 to a 550, but that's a conversation for another time. These actual wet baths give you enough room to stand up. And in RVs, we know we're not getting much shower space.
Right.
You know what I mean?
How tall are you?
I am 5'10". And as you can see, I've got plenty of room here. I've seen a guy 6'7" stand in here, given he was looking at the wall here, but he could still fit. He didn't have to bow down.
That's crazy.
Totally.
Yeah.
A lot of times, the wife wants that dry bath. It's a comfort zone. It gives her a warm, fuzzy feeling. The most common thing I get is a year later, they call me up, they said, we made a mistake. We should have went with the wet bath.
Yeah.
That's why I absolutely promote the wet bath. To me, that's the way to go.
And this here, fully molded one-piece fiberglass, right?
That is correct. That is correct. And notice, they still put the carpet up top. That is boat-grade carpet. Technically, I wouldn't recommend doing this, but technically, you could take a high-pressure washer and spray all that out. It's not going to hurt it. It's not going to mold.
Nice.
Yep.
Very cool. Any other points that you feel like are really important to talk about? Any other common questions you get or anything like that? I'm trying to
Most
think.
common questions I get with truck campers is truck setup. GVWR, your truck, all that stuff. This is a fine balance. And there's no real one size fits all. Okay, every single truck camper is going to be unique. Every single truck is going to be unique to that camper. This is where I shine. I would love to help anybody out, but to really get into the details of truck setup, I can tell you this. You're going to need a tie-down system, and you're going to need airbags. I personally prefer the Firestone Red Label 150 PSI bag. I do not prefer it with a compressor because most compressors, at least on board on a truck, don't go past 100 to 120 PSI. You really want to have that extra capacity. That being said, it's just one more component that can break.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I really appreciate you being in this video. Again, let people know if they're looking for not just a truck camper, but really any RV in general, how they can contact you if they would like to work with you.
Sounds great. Once again, my name is John Nelson. My phone number is 623-263-0108. My email, if you prefer, is john, John, dot Nelson, Nelson, at bluecompassrv.com.
I appreciate it. And I'm going to let
Myles.
John get on with his day because he is a productive salesperson and he has people coming to pick up RVs today. So
I do.
Appreciate you being on the channel.
Definitely. Thanks for having me, Myles.
For sure. Okay, y'all, what an awesome experience that was. Hopefully you appreciate all that additional information John was able to provide. And could not encourage enough for you to reach out to him if he's in the area here in Surprise, Arizona, where you may be looking for an RV. They have a bunch of other stuff here at this location, like Brinkley Models, Alliance, all those kinds of things as well. So John can help you out with all that stuff. I'm going to walk you through some of the rest of the stuff going on with this camper here. So like some things, you have a sidewall backsplash and a backsplash here on your 3-burner gas stove. And then you have your oven underneath here. Pretty dang good size oven. That's larger than your smallest ovens you'll find in travel trailers, which is pretty dang impressive. And then as we go through here, just looking at your storage that you'll have available in this model, 2 drawers here that pull out. We always open all the drawers and cabinets just to make sure that there's no like false storage in some of these areas, because sometimes that is the case in these different RVs. Plus, I like for you guys to be able to see all the storage you'll be working with if this is actually something you are considering purchasing. So you have all that storage here, and then you're going to have a single basin stainless steel sink, nice large sink at that. It is a little interesting how your bedding is going to kind of overlap into this area, so just want to keep that out of the way, maybe while you're cooking and prepping food. Again, you have your storage space up here, really great cabinetry as John talked about. Light underneath here, and then a window out on this side, vent fan here, and a air fryer combo in the microwave. Up in the bed portion, this is a queen size bed here in this front space. Also, because Northwood RV does their own in-house woodwork, you get these really cool wood accents that we'll see throughout this camper as well. TV already installed. This is something where we see some of the higher quality aspects versus like the Wolf Creek model from Northwood that does not come with TVs installed from what I've seen. And then down underneath here, you have all this accessible storage space. This is kind of nice because it keeps the platform kind of at the same height as the bed height here. So it's pretty uniform all the way across versus just like having a drop down pit right in that space. You have that area for storage, but this also basically allows us to double as like a tabletop space for you in this area. You have outlets and USB ports here on both sides, and those are both, it looks like a USB Type A and Type C USB port with that shelf right there, and 2 individual reading lights, plus another little shelf up here. So really working in as much shelving storage as they can. Have storage space through here. Looks like we have a table in there as well. And then another little cubby area right here. As we turn back around, you can see how thick the roof area is with the skylight space. I mean, that is really impressive. You have the skylight that will open up from this side there, so letting in natural light. AC is not ducted in this truck camper, so what it's doing is it's pushing air basically across the roof line here, so you actually can feel the air blowing all the way back into this bed area, even though it is not ducted, so it still feels very cool in that space. Here with your dining area, we have a little bit of storage access underneath there. You can also see some furnace ducting going to the space. In their furnace ducting, you can see it's not just that foil look, it actually has that wrap material on it that's going to make it more sturdy there, that not a lot of RVs do. Additional storage space down underneath here in this little flip up little spot there. And then with their dining table, they have a little bit more depth to the seat here, and the seat cushion is pretty firm, making this a much more comfortable dinette than a lot of others. And then this dining table here can go up and down, so you can get another additional sleeping surface right here. Now, one thing I would have loved to ask John about, because I'm going to have to really struggle through figuring out what the heck this does here, but I can tell something detaches here, and hopefully this isn't too overly complicated. But this looks like it's either a bed or a shelf on this floor plan. Oh, it's got some weight to it. Wow, is that? It doesn't look like it's going to be used for like a bed purpose because of the cutout there for the window. So I would think it's maybe just a shelf. However, actually, you know what? That might be what this mattress pad right here is for. Let's see. Let's see if this just happens to fit in this area. It might be the case. It's hard to say because it feels like you're gonna roll into that little hole right there. But nonetheless, this basically gives you a bunk bed setup inside of this floor plan. I don't know let's see what it says here. Optional bunk. Yeah, it is designed to be a bunk right here. Now, how much weight this could hold, I would imagine it's probably rated for like 250 pounds. That's usually what we see with a bunk bed like this in most RVs, maybe 300. So that's something where, you know, I'd be a little cautious just getting up there, but it's like even myself, I'm a little hesitant and scared to get up there because I never want to cause damage to an RV that I don't own. But it is a bunk bed there, and you can see how thick that platform is. I mean, it's pretty substantial right there. So pretty dang cool, pretty interesting. Curious, let me know, would you see yourself actually using a bunk space like this, or would it just be, you know, something that maybe went unused? Because it is an optional thing. You don't have to get it with this bunk, it looks like. This one just so happens to have it. And it's going to take 2 hands to lift that back up. So I will leave it like that. That's pretty much everything. Again, he mentioned the barrel ceiling gives you tremendous ceiling height. You're very comfortable walking around in this space. And then you have your awning light and porch light switches right here. On your windows, pull down pleated shades on those. And then these are, looks like these are a dual pane window from what I can tell here. Yeah, you can see the insulated window sticker here. So those are all dual pane frameless windows. Let's go ahead and hop back outside. This model is going to have a generator on it. So you have the LP 2500 generator right there. So you can run this unit off of that. Awning that comes over the back wall. As we step up here, let's go ahead and see what's up on the roof. So come up here. See 400 watts of solar, your Coleman Mach AC, and then Winegard digital antenna. Always keep in mind with any RV, it's our responsibility as RV owners to get up here and check the seals as often as possible if we care about the roof not leaking inside of our RVs, because those seals are going to be where you have those vulnerable points over time to occur that water could find its way in if those crack, bubble, tear, anything like that. So we want to make sure we are being diligent about checking those and also filling in any spots where it may crack over time if that does occur. But only if you care about your RV roof not leaking. Coming along this side, we have some storage space right through here. So little storage pockets. We have our center of gravity sticker right there. I assume, that's a question I wanted to ask John. I would assume that's the spot where we want it to sit right over the axles on the truck, would be my assumption. Really nice looking front cap up on this model. It's definitely a big truck camper. See another one right here. It looks like those might both be the same models that we're taking a look at. See if the window, actually no, they are 2 different ones. So maybe we'll take a look at this one as well, because they're 2 different floor plan layouts. I can tell by the window configuration that they're both different. Legs here to raise and lower the truck camper. So one big advantage to the truck camper, if you don't know this, is basically this allows you to be able to drop the camper wherever you are camped at and take your truck out to go do things without the camper attached, and still have legs for it to be able to stand and stay wherever you're at your campsite. So it really gives you like almost the most flexibility that you will find in any sort of RV out there in existence, aside from maybe a van. A van and a truck camper are basically the 2 most, what's the proper terminology here? They're the 2 RV types that are going to give you the most access to the most amount of camping styles compared to anything else out there, because you just have the ability to get a vehicle with the camper attached, or it being the camper itself, essentially, whether it's the camper set on top of the truck bed or a van. it's just such a smaller footprint than any other type of RV out there. Like, you're not taking this big old Cherokee right there into a heavily forested area with low branches and, you know, trees everywhere. You're not squeezing that thing in. But with a truck camper like this, you have a lot higher probability of being able to do that and having more flexibility. So pretty cool. Right here, you have an outdoor shower area there. You have satellite plugs under here, 30 amp power supply. And then you're going to have your plumbing access right here. I don't have a key to get into these, unfortunately. All these doors are locked. I will have to find my set of keys somewhere. 2 propane bottles here. So you have your, oh wow, and that's quite a bit of propane supply there. So very impressive. That's a lot of propane capacity for this unit. I mean, this is definitely one of those truck campers that is really designed to be, you know, one of the best ones out there that you're going to find. So it's an expensive one, but you're really getting a lot of quality, and I hope John did a good job explaining that to you. I know for me, certainly taught me a lot of things, so really impressed with that. Spot where you have the sewer hose to go through here, battery compartment down through here, and then you have a propane quick connect line there. And that is pretty much everything, y'all. So very curious your thoughts on what you think about this truck camper. Let me know down below in the comments, and if you're looking for your next RV, there's a link down below in the comments and description where you can find a Blue Compass RV store close to you, as Blue Compass has over 100 different stores in 33 different states, and then John is specifically here in the Surprise, Arizona location, where they happen to have a bunch of different truck campers, which not all RV dealerships across the country will have. So kind of a unique location here if that's something that you're particularly interested in. So appreciate y'all watching, and until next time, live firmly unbound.